What up, y'all? In San Jose, California. Just flew in from Mexico last night. Quick 24-hour turnaround and less than 24 hours. And we're heading to Vegas, driving maybe 8-9 hours to Vegas to play in a 50-100 no limit televised cash game. So because this is going to be televised and has not aired yet, I can't tell you too much about it yet, but it's going to be pretty damn fun. I promise. I'm going to show you the backstage in a future vlog once it airs. But for this time, what we're doing is we're going to Vegas early so I can play some cash games. I haven't played cash games seriously in over 10 years. So I want to get there early, get warmed up, prep, practice, even do some coaching and studying. The luggage in the trunk, just came to pick up my car. Should be a pretty awesome trip. Got my bad boy 34-inch widescreen monitor ready, and brought some dress clothes this time. Let's hit the road, baby. Always on the road, always on the road. Going for COVID tests. Dun dun dun. Just got back from Cabo, making sure we're clean. Waving us in.
What do we do?
Station number 8, County Santa Clara. Time for some lunch on the road. I'm hungry. Quesadilla, alambre. Shit looks good. Just got back from Mexico. Still having Mexican food because it's so damn good. Gotta have some gas station food truck Mexican food if you're gonna be on a classic American road trip. Got a little home packed meal, got some salmon action, salmon and veggies. Got this nice little freezer / heating bag that keeps your food insulated. We don't have to go eat the junk food. Instead, we sit outside the junk food's parking lot, but eat the healthy food. Got my 34-inch monitor coming up to the room because it's Sunday. Grind session's about to begin. Got to crush some tournaments. It's tourney day. Never miss a Sunday. Got some pretty nice stacks actually in some of the ACR Bounty series. Chip leading the 1 mil guarantee pretty early, and yeah. So last night I actually went and played some cash games downstairs here at the Venetian, and I actually haven't played cash games in years, minus a couple, televised events I was invited to, and that's actually why I'm playing right now. I don't play too much cash games. I play high stakes tournaments. Very little cash games, just with friends here and there for fun. So I gotta get warmed up a little bit. So came to Vegas a little bit early, jumping in the ring games, trying to review and study some hands. And session went pretty good yesterday. Actually, I bought in for 1,000 at 510 and cashed out like 2,300. First time playing since COVID. So that was very interesting experience with the plexiglass, and I wasn't really sure how it was all going to feel. It was surprisingly a little more comfortable than I anticipated. I mean, they're really on top of getting everything clean and chips set every half an hour, wiping down the dividers every hour, and all sorts of little procedures like that. So that felt pretty good. Time to get that gym session. We are at the Aria, ready to play some 510. Just rolled up. New game starting. Hunter's ass hero called me the pocket sixes on
5-5 king.
Why'd you call me?
Well, because Faraz
Yeah,
is a famous
yeah.
bluffer. He's a famous bluffer. I had to look at that one time. I just his line didn't make sense. Come on, I
Yeah,
had to call you to win.
bullshit. He just wanted to brag about beating me in the hand.
It was both. It was a two-part call.
And we are taking off from the Aria. Just finished our 510 session. Went pretty well. Actually, I said I was going to play 2 more hands, play my button, my small blind, my button, in both hands. Same player, a new reg that just sat down, tried to bluff me, and ended up probably winning about $1,500 right on the last 2 hands. So this was the first hand I was referring to right when we had announced we were going to leave the table shortly. I limped in the small blind with the king 7 off. Big blind, he looked like a reg, kind of sat down with a backpack, headphones, didn't seem very social. So we sat down, we limped, and he just snap makes at 50. We call. I actually realized my call was a mistake. I'm kind of used to calling here in tournaments because there's an ante, but without the ante and versus this really big size, we just get to fold more. I think I'd prefer calling up to king 9 here. I'd maybe call king 7 here if you went smaller, if you made it 35. Auto adjustment we need to be making is when people bet bigger, whether it's post flop or pre-flop, we should just be folding more. Check, opponent bets half pot. I think he can kind of bet range on this board. If he was betting range, he'd want to bet maybe more like a third pot. Having bet 50 is kind of showing he's a little bit more polarized, meaning he might check back some hands like 9s and 8s. So if he's betting this big, kind of representing more polar range. Definitely calling here, no question about it. Turn is a pretty bad card for us. That said, I was asking myself how many ace X he has, and because he went such a big size pre-flop and then also this bigger size on the flop, made me feel like he's a bit more polarized. So he's not going to have as many of these ace 7, ace 8, ace 9 type hands. He's obviously going to have ace queen, ace jack. It's possible he has some ace deuce through ace 5 type stuff. So did feel like he might check back some of his ace X here and not necessarily be betting them all. And I do think he maybe has some jack X, queen X junk, maybe even just some 5X or 5i, 6i type stuff he's going to keep barreling with here. So I decided I'm going to call at least one more time. River is a blank. It looks like he decided to give up. Luckily, got to showdown cheap. Didn't have too tough of a decision. Took that one down. Now here was the very next hand. Player limps. We have jack queen suited on the button. We open to 50. This player snap throws out 3 black chips literally like half a second after I raise. I'm definitely calling with this hand. I might have called a little bit looser versus this guy. It just felt like he was trying to prove a point, or the guy just looked kind of angry. Maybe that was the image he was going for. Flop comes jack 6-5. We got top pair. He checks. I was on the fence about betting here. I didn't want to get check raised by something like ace jacks, queens, kings, aces, flush draws. I didn't really want to bet this. I think if I do bet this and get check raised, I need to be willing to go with it. I wasn't really sure this guy's strategy, his ranges, so I kind of played it safe. If I had something as good as King Jack, I'm probably going to start betting here. That said, decided to check. Opponent bets out 400, definitely calling here. At this point, if he fires the river, I'm going to be calling. He could have definitely checked some flush draws on the flop, so I would be worried about that, but the fact that we decided to play our hand the more passive route on the flop, that means we're slightly under repped here. Our opponent might not give us as much credit for having a lot of Jack X in our range, but it looks like he just gave up, and he said his hand was 10 high. I really don't know what 10 high hand he has with a diamond in it. He must have just had some, I really struggle to put him on a hand. It literally must have been 9-10 of clubs or 9-10 of spades that he just gave up on the flop and decided to make kind of a delayed stab to get me off some stuff like king queen or ace high on the turn. That was a nice little parting gift. Back on the road, kinda, checking out of Aria and moving over to Vdara, which is actually just right over there. Pretty convenient. I love city center, this whole little mini city MGM has set up. And yeah, we're just moving over there because we're gonna be in Vegas for another 3 weeks about. Was originally just gonna play cash games for like 4 or 5 days to warm up and play the game and then move over to an apartment off the strip. But you know what, I got kind of hooked and I think I'm gonna keep playing cash games next 2.5 weeks. The games are just great, but I think we're done with hotels and not having a kitchen. So, but we do want to be on the strip. So yeah, Vdara is a nice little in between. Home sweet home. All right, kitchenette. We got a stove. That's all we need. Stove and a fridge. Microwave. My office. I actually have coaching with some students in about 45 minutes, so I'm gonna get to it. Time to get to work. Definitely want to start getting it in here. I might even bet bigger here, but you're pretty much polarized to a jack or better here, so I like going 5. What would your bluffs here be? Now you put him in a really gross spot with ace king, you know, or pocket tens. What would you say are the main kind of takeaways from this one that we need to clean up? So you're floating a lot versus c-bets, but like really like, you know, third to the nut flush draw, back door. So not even like a high flush draw, and then when you get the good card, you're not bluffing on them. You're playing too passive when like your opponent shows weakness and you have like a good hand that could make a lot of better hands fold. I'm gonna balance this by check calling jacks. Okay, so yeah, that part I'd say is not so true. So, I mean, ICM matters for everybody. And it's because it's the goal for everyone here is to make the most amount of money, right? Here, which a lot of people get wrong, is they think the deeper they are, the wider they can call, because you know you got more implied odds or deeper stack. It's actually the opposite. So at 100 big blinds, look, it actually plays a lot tighter. It's folding a lot more of these. And if we go down to 15 big blinds, there's the other extreme. All of a sudden, it's calling, you know, like close to everything. So why do you think that might be, that you're calling wider when you're shallower? We are about to head to the gym. Gym is closed in Vdara because they're at 50% capacity, so a lot of utilities are moved over to the Aria, so we're gonna be using the Aria gym. And yeah, I'm going with the hardest working pregnant girl in the casino. How's he doing? He's enjoying his little workout?
Yeah.
Ran Mr. Phil over here.
Catching up with Phil. How you doing, man? Everything good?
Yep. Phil sounds like he's been, I could tell from talking to Phil, he seems very mindful. Have you been like practicing mindfulness or something?
Well, I think about a month ago,
Yeah.
my ego's been so high from all the great business stuff, from all the poker, and then it just crashed.
What made it crash?
I had this amazing 4-day trip when I went to Chicago, and I just felt like I was a little bit, my son was with me, Nick.
Yeah.
And I think because he was with me, it helped it kind of helped to spotlight that my ego was just a little bit out of control.
That's good. Sometimes you need to get humbled or reminded.
It's impossible in your 20s with your ego. You can't get rid of it. It's forever.
Well, as long as you're aware of that.
Now 56, I think for the first time I think it's crashing.
You can never get rid of your demons, but you can learn to live above them. Because they're always going to be there, you know what I mean? But you got to learn to control it and that kind of thing. So.
I have a big match with Antonio this week.
Oh yeah? You gonna crush it? You gonna crush him? How you feeling?
You know, when
Poker, what do you
players,
think of that,
when
man?
poker players say, how are you feeling? And right before a match, I'm always like,
All right.
no comment, no comment. I need to pay attention to details.
Good point. All right.
One more week.
All right. Good luck with that, dude.
You guys.
So I spent about a month here in Vegas now. Pretty awesome trip. This was definitely a unique trip for me, being in Vegas during COVID. So what was it like? First of all, keep in mind, I didn't really come here to go do the typical kind of Vegas partying, entertainment type trip. I came here for business. It was to play poker, stick to my routine, and just be comfortable being able to do my remote coaching in my room. I will say a couple things. First of all, when we showed up here, we showed up on a weekend and it was packed. We were surprised. We're like, holy shit, Vegas is like nothing has changed. That said, I kind of came to realize that it's packed because half the casinos are closed. So a lot of the people are condensed into fewer casinos. So it just feels like that. I actually was kind of uncomfortable with how packed it was. It didn't feel very safe as far as avoiding COVID. That said, as soon as the weekday hit, I don't want to say ghost town, but it was pretty dead. In terms of waiting in line for cafes or restaurants on and off the strip, things were way easier and faster than normal. So that part was pretty cool. The crowd is definitely a little bit different right now. People are definitely a bit more rude. My wife and I noticed that. And several people that I ran into mentioned that independently of me even bringing it up. So why is that? Well, my theory is the crowd that showed up here is a little bit more filtered right now. The type of person who's a lot more mindful and thinking about not affecting other people. Those people just aren't as likely to show up to Vegas right now. That would be my best guess. When you get that type of crowd, in terms of safety, my wife and I, at no point did we ever feel unsafe. That said, on Friday and Saturday, during the most rowdiest times, it's not like we're on the middle of the strip. If you've followed the news at all, you've seen that in the last 2 weeks, there's 3 shootings on the strip. That's absolutely insane. That's not normal. When you look into those cases, it's dumb people getting in arguments over dumb things. That does go to show a little bit of the crowd that's showing up. So, like I said, I didn't get to show you any of the televised cash game that happened because it has not aired on TV yet. As soon as it does in a future vlog, I am gonna put that out. So keep an eye out. That's gonna be a lot of fun. Also, let me know some feedback. What do you guys want to hear about? Because I'd love to share whatever it is you guys would like to see. My wife and I are on the road nonstop without a permanent home. My wife's pregnant. We're gonna have a baby soon. So we're on a pretty epic adventure and we love that you're joining us here for it. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also hit the like button, say something in the comments. I'd love to connect with you guys. See you guys next time.